Hello again, good evening to you. Welcome to Business on News Prime. Now, COCOBOD has signed the annual cocoa loan syndication deal in Paris, France, with some 24 French banks. The loan totaling $1.3 billion is to aid the purchase of cocoa in the 2019-2020 crop season. CEO of COCOBOD, Joseph Boahen Edu, in a live telecast from France, revealed the syndication loan will be financed in a 7-month interval from February to August 2020. There's more in this report.
The signing of the annual cocoa loan syndication comes in the wake of the swollen shoot viral disease that has ravaged acres of cocoa farms in the west north of Ghana. Chief Executive of COCOBOD, Joseph Boahen Edu, revealed this development left them no option than to reduce cocoa output from the expected 900,000 metric tons to 850,000 metric tons for the 2019-2020 crop season.
These events are happening at a time when COCOBOD is vigorously pursuing productivity enhancement programs for transformation and sustainability of the cocoa industry in Ghana. We are looking for a sustainable and thriving cocoa industry in which every farmer must feel happy. The combined effects of our ongoing initiatives and activities must evoke even more confidence in the banks to do greater business with Ghana COCOBOD.
Meanwhile, Joseph Boahen Edu has impressed on COCOBOD's internal lenders to reduce rate of lending next year. This follows the $1.3 billion syndication loan, which goes at an interest margin of 55 basis points by LIBOR.
It is an acknowledged fact that the cost of the facility is comparatively lower than what could be obtained from local sources. Yet, participating banks are encouraged to consider reducing the rate next year to enable us access more funds to improve the lot of our farmers in particular and the economy in general.
One of the immediate impacts the deal would have on the economy is that it will improve the Bank of Ghana's reserves, as a situation that could give investors and currency traders some assurance about the central bank's ability to defend the local currency. Meanwhile, the first tranche of the loan, $650 million, is expected to hit the Bank of Ghana's accounts by the first week of October 2020.
Meanwhile, the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, is optimistic the current deal will have a positive impact on the local currency and the economy as a whole.
Truly, we've gone through 3 years of sort of serious macro stability, and now we have to find interventions sort of for the real sector to sustain the transformation that we have. So the type of liquidity that is required for that to support industrialization, I think, is going to be a key element. But the syndication is an annual ritual, so I mean, it usually comes at a good time in which traders are looking for foreign exchange, so it helps support that and keeps the foreign exchange stable. But it's important, and COCOBOD is also going through this period of floor prices that is coming up with, and it's also signing another agreement with Africa Development Bank of $600 million to support the regeneration of the industry. So it's a good thing, and we expect management to use it effectively.
Away now from developments within the cocoa sector, the Bank of Ghana has warned that any staff caught in any questionable deal will be dealt with severely. The governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, gave the warning when he addressed members of the Ghana Bankers Association at a business luncheon in Accra on Friday. George Rafi has more.
The governor in his address noted that all these are aimed at restoring the needed confidence in the banking sector.
Developing a vibrant financial system capable of harnessing financial resources for the growth and development of our dear country.
He also announced that about 849 million Ghana cedis has been recovered so far by the receiver for the defunct banks.
Out of a total loan book of about 10.1 billion. These proceeds were realized through loan repayments by customers, placements that were repaid, proceeds from sale of vehicles, bonds, and other income from placements made, and the refund of commissions paid.
Central Bank Governor also gave the firm assurance that the recent cleanup of the banking sector was not politically motivated.
These reforms have rather sadly been misconstrued as being driven by some unseen hands to score political objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to place on record that these difficult decisions taken by the Bank of Ghana were based on its technical assessments and judgments of the conditions facing the financial sector.
The match talked about Depositors Insurance Scheme will take off from October 1 this year, which the governor believes would entrench confidence in the banking sector.
Deposit insurance is one of the key pillars in securing financial sector stability. As amended, the Ghana Deposit Protection Act of 2016, Act 931, was enacted to protect small savers from losses incurred as a result of occurrences of an insured event, such as the revocation of a deposit-taking institution's license.
Governor also charged the bankers to ensure that the recent reforms reflect in their lending rates to customers. This, he believes, will go a long way to bring about the needed development and help stabilize the economy.
And in a related development, President of the Ghana Association of Bankers, Alhassan Andani, has maintained the recent stance of the Bank of Ghana would not affect innovation within the sector.
There's no new law or no new regulation coming in. These are existing laws, existing regulations, existing standards. So I think what notice is serving is just that we will now rigorously enforce it. So there isn't anything coming that is new at us. No, everything else that the governor says would be enforced are already standards, regulations, directives that we are working with. But as slippages were coming, they kind of condoned it in the past. So, the notice is that we will not condone any slippage of existing standards, existing directives, existing laws around financial service. This should bring more confidence, that should bring more professionalism into the banks, that should make our customers and the economy much more confident. Indeed, our directors and shareholders require us to do that. You cannot go to any board or shareholder to say, I'm making money for you because I am breaching some regulation or directive or a law. They will not accept that. So I think that would be a good step for us. The MPL will be dealt with at two levels. Number one, ensuring that we have some general improvement in the economic conditions, and two, ensure that we work speedily with the court system to get resolution to the difficult cases of recovery. Financial cases, once it travels that length, some of them can stay in the court for 4 or 5 years. By the time you recover, you've virtually destroyed value. So the idea of ensuring that we can get some judicial attention, and we're happy to resource the judiciary to do a fair job, but speedy job, so that we can, get a resolution and retain value for whatever bad debts are sitting within that MPL book. I think it's quite justifiable for the governor and indeed the general public. After all what they've gone through, the taxpayer has gone through in helping us to shape up the sector. It's only fair that we make credit more accessible, more affordable, and I think we've all taken that on board. But the issues that we mentioned around the extenuating circumstances that created the MPLs, even as we increase credit to the private sector, let's ensure that we can withdraw or at least minimize the risk that makes this loan slip quickly back into MPLs. So I think, yes, all the banks and the government met literally all the managing directors to ask us to ensure that we pay more attention to extending credit to the private sector.
And that's all in business for the first segment. There'll be more business after 8 p.m. Good evening.